I'm Roman Yossi of the Nashville Predators.
I'm Matt Duchesne of the Nashville Predators.
I'm Justus Aros of the Nashville Predators.
I'm Ryan Johansson of the Nashville Predators.
You're listening to the Renegades of Puck
with Crazy Charlie.
Welcome to the Bunker. Welcome to the Renegades of Puck podcast. I'm your host and captain, Crazy Charlie Saunier, and before we get started on the No Half Step in Hockey coverage, let me direct you to our home website, renegadesofpuck.com. Once you go to our home website, you'll get good and educated about the show, and once you learn everything you can about the show, click on that merchandise tab. That's where you're going to find our classic logo t-shirt, our Pride logo t-shirt, and all of our special event logo t-shirts. Please also check out the gimmicks that you've come to know and love from the Renegades of Puck, whether that's socks, wall art, throw pillow, or bed sets. You can outfit your entire home with Renegades of Puck merchandise, and we would surely appreciate if you would do just that. After all, we've sold out so that you can buy in. Social media is of critical importance to this independent hockey operation, so we would appreciate a little bit of support. Please help us out on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, or, of course, TikTok. You can also find us on Twitch. You can find us on YouTube, and thank you so much to all of our brand new subscribers. We certainly have noticed, and we appreciate each and every one of you. The audio podcast can be found on numerous platforms. Just search Renegades of Puck on your favorite and preferred platform today, but you can just check out a couple of the following: Spotify, Stitcher, we are on Google, we are on Amazon. You can find us on all of those different podcast platforms, so please check us out today. It doesn't take you but a second, doesn't cost you but a thing, but it goes a long way to supporting the Renegades of Puck. Venmo, that's how you can become a sponsor or a partner of the Renegades of Puck. Just scan the QR code that's currently on your screen or search Renegades of Puck in Venmo. Thanks to generous Renegades just like you watching and listening right now, we've been able to make significant upgrades throughout this season here in the bunker. It is obvious, it is noticeable, and it is very much appreciated. We've got some pretty big events coming up before the end of the season, so if you can help us out, even $1 goes a long way to helping out this independent hockey operation. So thank you again. Stick taps, love, and respect to each and every one of you generous Renegades out there. Just scan the QR code or search Renegades of Puck on Venmo. Now, I know it's time for the No Half Step in Hockey coverage, so let me get to the goods. Time for operation number 722. That's right, show number 722 for the Renegades of Puck. At this moment in hockey history, the Nashville Predators continue making news. Let's talk about that first, then we'll talk about where the Nashville Predators are currently in the standings. The Nashville Predators made another massive trade earlier today. Matthias Ekholm, defenseman, has been traded to the Edmonton Oilers. The return for the Nashville Predators is current roster defenseman Tyson Barrie, who has 41 points. We'll talk more about him as the episode goes along. Reed Schaefer, also a prospect 2022 first-round pick by the Oilers, comes to the Nashville Predators, and a first-round and fourth-round draft pick in this upcoming year's draft. So the Nashville Predators continue dismantling the core of the team, but continue in a very smart way, adding significant amounts of prospects and draft picks coming up in the next 2 or 3 seasons. So that gets you caught up on the news of the day with the Nashville Predators, but as quick as things are moving, there may be more news to come very, very soon. So let's get back to talking about the Nashville Predators at this moment in time. They're in 5th place in the Central Division, have skated in 58 games this season. They have a record of 29, 23, and 6. That's good for 64 points on the road, which is where their next game will take place. As a matter of fact, several of their next games will take place on the road. They have a record of 13, 12, and 3, 170 goals on the season, 174 goals against. That's a goal differential of -4. The Central Division updated standings from the top down. The Dallas Stars continue to sit in first place with 75 points. The Minnesota Wild have now jumped up into second place. We have quite the 4-team race starting to build here over the final 20-plus games of the season. The Minnesota Wild in second place with 74 points. Colorado Avalanche in third place with 73 points. And the Winnipeg Jets in fourth place with 71 points. So first through fourth separated in the Central Division by just 4 points right now. The Nashville Predators kind of on an island on their own, the only team in the Central Division in the 60-point range. They have 64 points currently and sit in 5th place. St. Louis Blues are in 6th place with 57 points. Arizona and Chicago round out the division at 7th and 8th. Now, for the Nashville Predators, I mentioned it's the first of several difficult road games, and listen to this road trip coming up for the Preds to start the month of March. After facing off against the Florida Panthers in their first game on this road trip, Saturday they will be in Chicago, then Monday in Vancouver. So from Miami to Chicago to Vancouver in a matter of a couple of days, and then on the 9th of March into Arizona, and then on the 11th of March into LA, and then the 12th into Anaheim. So the Nashville Predators will be piling up the miles coming up here very, very soon. For the Nashville Predators, starting out back all the way back on the East Coast down near Miami, they have played the Panthers once this season. So this will close out the regular season series. They was back on February 18th, so that was very, very recent. The Florida Panthers ran into a very tough day because neither one of their goaltenders could seemingly do anything right. The Nashville Predators scored a 7-3 victory in that game. Tommy Novak, 2 goals, led the Nashville Predators in goals. The captain, Roman Josi, had a goal and 2 assists for 3 points. Ryan McDonough also had 3 assists in that game. So the Nashville Predators looking to pick up 2 points against the Florida Panthers, who are currently 30-26-6, fighting for a potential wild card spot. But the East is so stacked this year, it's incredibly difficult if you're not already on the inside. They're 5th in the Atlantic Division with 66 points on the season. They have an impressive home record of 16-9-3 and a goal differential of even 0. Their goal differential is even for the season. Take a look at their most recent stretch of games going back to the 16th of February, 6-3 win versus at the Washington Capitals. And then, of course, the 18th of February, 7-3 loss at the Nashville Predators. We just talked about that game. The 20th of February saw a 4-3 overtime win versus Anaheim. And most recently, a 4-1 win at the Tampa Bay Lightning. For this matchup, the rankings between these two teams, goals for Florida, an impressive number put up so far this season, 3.42 per game. That's 8th best overall in the NHL. While the Nashville Predators 2.88 on the season is 25th overall in the league. In the goals against category, the Nashville Predators lead in this statistical metric, 13th best in the league at 2.98 per game, while Florida is giving up 3.44 per game. That is 23rd in the league. In the shots for category, the Predators are 20th, 30.6 per game on net, while the Florida Panthers are best overall in the NHL, first with 36.7 shots on net per game, and that feeds into one of the Nashville Predators' biggest deficiencies on the season, shots against. The Preds are 26th in the league, giving up 33.6 shots against per game, while the Florida Panthers are giving up 32.3 shots per game. That is 23rd in the NHL, but the Nashville Predators giving up quite a bit more. Power play for the Preds, 26th in the league. They've converted 18.5% of the times this season, or 34 out of 184 opportunities. The Florida Panthers power play is significantly better, converting 45 times into 210 opportunities, 14th best in the NHL, 21.4% conversion rate. When it comes to the penalty kill, the Preds do lead in this particular metric, though. 81% kill rate, 13th best penalty kill in the league. They've given up 38 power play goals against. The Florida Panthers are 27th in penalty kill, 74.3% kill rate, and they have given up a massive 58 power play goals against. Now, for the Nashville Predators, there are a significant amount of pieces out of the lineup right now, whether that is due to the number of trades that we have seen in the last couple of days or the number of injuries the Nashville Predators are currently dealing with. Philip Forsberg still listed as day-to-day with an upper body injury. Parsonen still listed as day-to-day. And, of course, we know Ryan Johansson out for the season. Mark Borowiecki is on injured reserve. So for the Nashville Predators right now, it is a very different-looking lineup. And by Friday, it could be an even more different-looking lineup. But for now, let's talk about the top 5 scorers on the Nashville Predators, even though one of them is no longer on the team and one of them has been injured for quite some time. The captain, Roman Josi, though, is doing quite well in the recent stretch of hockey without all of these other names in the lineup. 17 goals, 37 assists, 54 points on the season. Matt Duchene, 18 goals and 31 assists for 49 points. He's had a new edge to his game as of late. Philip Forsberg out on injured reserve right now, 19 goals, leads the Nashville Predators, 23 assists on the season for 42 points. Mikhail Granlund, 9 and 27 for 36. And Nino Niederreiter, no longer on the Nashville Predators, but 18 goals and 10 assists when he was on the team for 28 total points. UC Saros in net, 23, 17 and 5, a save percentage of .916 on the season, 2.79 goals against average. On the Florida Panthers side of the ledger, Tkachuk, 28 goals, 51 assists, 79 points. He's near tops in the league in those categories. For Hagee, 31 and 22 for 53 on the season. Barkov, 16 and 34 for 50. Montour, 10 goals, 38 assists, 48 points. And Reinhart, 21 goals, 24 assists for 45 points. And a number of these players typically do quite well against the Nashville Predators. Bobrovsky in net, 18, 16 and 2 and 904 save percentage, a 3.06 goals against average. That's got you all set up for the Nashville Predators' first game of this very lengthy road trip against the Florida Panthers. They'll close out the regular season series against Florida Panthers. Already collected 2 out of 2 possible points, looking to collect 4 out of 4 points and looking to continue moving forward with the next generation Preds. That gets you all set up for that. Now it's time for the Rebirth Sports full game recap. We go all the way back. We talk about the Nashville Predators and the Pittsburgh Penguins from Bridgestone Arena.
Hockey players are as unique as the game itself, and your uniform should be tailored to fit you. Rebirth Sports is your sports apparel tailor. From shells, bags, warm-ups, hats, hoodies, branding, and more, let Rebirth Sports be your custom hockey tailor.
And don't forget to tell them they do more than just hockey.
Rebirth Sports on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Rebirth Sport, a match made in hockey.
It's now time for the Rebirth Sports full game recap, and we go all the way back to February the 28th of the year 2023, when the Nashville Predators were welcoming in the Pittsburgh Penguins, and John Hynes deploys his brand new combinations of lines in the following way. Granlund, Glass, and Duchesne make up your first line. Sherwood, Novak, and Tomasino. Sanford, Jankowski, and Evangelista making his NHL debut for the Nashville Predators. Trennan, Sissons, and Smith make up your fourth line. I told you it was dramatically different. Yossi and Fabro, McDonough and Carrier, Luzon, and Foote also making his Nashville Predators debut after being traded in the Tampa Bay deal for Tanner Jeannot. UC Saros gets the start in net. We are 19 seconds into the first period, and Tristan Jarry's coming with a save on Granlund's breakaway. It was Yossi springing him with a feed through the neutral zone. Jarry comes up with the big save. First shot on goal of the game. 1:43 of the first period. Jarry comes with a save on Sissons off of the rush. 3:13. Saros' first save of the game comes on Jake Gensel at 9:23 of the first period. Jarry comes up with a save on Sherwood. 10-12. Jarry another save on Evangelista. 12:37. Sidney Crosby hits the post. He had Saros beaten. 13:19 of the first. Jarry comes up with a save on Jankowski at 13:34. Gensel's off the box. 2 minutes for hooking. Jarry comes up with a save on Sherwood plus Evangelista's jam from the side of the net multiple times. Good to see Evangelista going into the hard areas, and good to see him getting rewarded with some power play time in his first ever game. Strong zone time by the Preds on this power play. Heavy pressure, but Jarry was coming up huge here on this PK situation. 18:24 of the first period. Saros comes up with a save on Carter plus the rebound by Hyman 2 times on the jam. UC Saros' biggest sequence of the first period certainly comes here in the 18-minute. 18:48. Saros comes up with another save on Letang. The end of the first period, the Nashville Predators outshoot the Pittsburgh Penguins 16-9, but the Penguins ended up getting 5 shots on goal there in the final 2 minutes. On the clean sheet in the second period, 45 seconds in, it's Mikael Granlund off to the box, 2 minutes for tripping. A strong overall PK by the Nashville Predators, and with all that talent on the Pittsburgh Penguins, you will take it. 3:43 of the second period, Saros comes up with a save on O'Connor. 3:56, Jarry a save on Duchesne. 4:28, Foote is off to the box, 2 minutes for interference. 50-50 call, but Foote making his debut with the Nashville Predators does not get the benefit of that call. He ends up in the box, and UC Saros has to go to some significant work right here. A save on Rust, a save on Carter, a save on Petrie, and there may have been even more. It was a mayhem scramble by UC Saros, but he keeps the Pittsburgh Penguins off the board. 8:21 of the second. Saros comes up with a save on Letang. 12:58 of the second. Jarry comes up with a save on Sherwood. 14:28. Saros comes up with a save on Raquel. 14:58. Another save on Petrie. 16:36. A save on O'Connor. 17:41. A save on Malkin, and the Nashville Predators are under siege here towards the end of the second period. Pittsburgh out shooting the Nashville Predators 26-22. Jarry coming up big when called upon. We have, through the first 40 minutes, a goaltender's duel. 2:03 into the third period, UC Saros comes up with a huge save on Letang. 2:16. Saros a save on Raquel. 2:39. Cole Smith off to the box. 2 minutes for holding. Overall, again, the Nashville Predators get credited with a strong PK effort right here because they kept Sidney Crosby and Evgeny Malkin off the board. 5:48, Saros comes up with another save on O'Connor. O'Connor was difficult against the Preds all night long. 7:01 of the third period, Jankowski intercepts the clearing attempt, and he has the smooth finish after a deke and a dangle in the slot. He beats Jari's fifth goal of the season, gives the Preds a 1-0 lead, unassisted for Jankowski, not even supposed to be there today. He gets in the lineup and he picks up the goal, putting the Preds on the board first in this game. At 8:29 of the third period, Ruters off to the box, 2 minutes for slashing on Luke Evangelista after Luke Evangelista absolutely knocked Evgeny Malkin on his ass. Evgeny Malkin was clearly not happy about it. Ruda comes in and slashes Evangelista, and then Evangelista gets chirped by Sidney Crosby and the entire bench. What are you going to do? Spray some water on him out of a bottle? Luke Evangelista, welcome to the NHL, clearly showing that the moment was not too big for you. This was a great moment for the Nashville Predators fan base, though, to immediately fall in love with Luke Evangelista. Jari comes up with a save on Sherwood on the Nashville Predators power play. We go to 11 minutes of the third period. Crosby gets a breakaway and goes for the 5-hole, and he gets the finish for his 27th goal of the season. Yes, that guy, Sidney Crosby. Tying the game up at 1 apiece, the Pittsburgh Penguins and the Nashville Predators play on at 14:33 of the third period. Saros comes up with a save on Russ, but at 18:21, Zucker comes up with his 17th goal of the season, giving the Penguins a 2-1 lead at Bridgestone Arena. A game that comes down to the final 2 minutes, and it's tied at 1 apiece, and suddenly the Pittsburgh Penguins find themselves getting a lucky bounce goal. No trauma at all. I am telling you, no trauma involved in this. Turnover by McDonough. Not a great goal by UC Saros. The Penguins lead 2-1 at 19:40. Jari has to come up with a save on Granlund. I honestly do not know how the Nashville Predators did not get this puck into the net in the 6-on-5 scenario. 19:54. Rust puts the puck into the empty net with a little bit of extra effort at the end of the game. His 15th goal of the season. Pittsburgh wins this game 3-1 at Bridgestone Arena. Outshoots the Predators 34-25. The Pittsburgh Penguins really turned it on in the second period. From the end of the first period, the last 2 minutes of the first period, all the way through the second and the third, the Pittsburgh Penguins absolutely were pouring it on to the Nashville Predators. UC Saros did an admirable job to keep them in this game, but that wasn't the story of the night. The story of the night was the amount of youth getting the amount of time that they got and the amount of energy and enthusiasm they brought not only to the game itself, but to the crowd itself. And for the Nashville Predators, score aside, tonight was a more successful result than many of the games that they've actually won on the scoreboard this season. That does it for the Rebirth Sports full game recap. Preds fall 3-1 to the Penguins on home ice. Now pack their bags and head off for a lengthy road trip to begin the month of March. That was the Rebirth Sports full game recap. We got Sean C. Smith, the Renegades of Puck, full analysis, box score, all that coming up next, right here on the Renegades of Puck podcast.
Hello, hello, hello. I'm Tracy, owner-operator of Strong Style Fitness. And that's me and my training assistant, Rizzo. And we are here to bring you fitness that meets you where you are by offering circuit classes, bar-inspired classes, Tabata workouts, boot camps, guided stretching, and more, all taught by a certified personal trainer, me. To learn more, go to our website, strongstylefit.com. Subscribe on YouTube at Strong Style Fitness. Follow on social media at Strong Style Fit. But most importantly, let's get you moving. It doesn't matter if it's your first workout or you've been doing it for years. Strong Style Fitness has the workout that meets you on your journey and helps you along the path to a happier, healthier life. I understand where you've been, what you were going through, and where you were going, and I want to take you there. We'll see you on the mat. Mwah.
UC Saros was 31 out of 33 in this game, and Sidney Crosby beats him on a breakaway 5-hole, and then there was a goal that, any goaltender would want back, frankly, but overall, it was a strong game. The Pittsburgh Penguins were pouring shots on from the end of the first period through the second and the third period, and UC Saros was coming up with some fairly dynamic sequences in this game. He kept the Nashville Predators in it. It's a shame the Preds couldn't at least get it to overtime and get him a point. The home crowd was certainly into it, and they were certainly behind UC Saros the whole way. Again, a fairly good game for UC Saros, getting beaten on a breakaway and giving up one that you want back. Well, it's unfortunate. The Preds should have been able to find a way to get more than one goal in the game, and UC Saros might have had a better result. But again, UC Saros takes the L, but not hanging this one on him overall. Luke Evangelista is what I really want to talk about. I want to get into more positives now. Now that the Nashville Predators are moving on, now that there's a new phase and a new generation of Nashville Predators coming along, and the Preds have immediately moved on to the next phase of the plan, I am in full support of that, and I'm going to get behind it, and that's the topics that I'm going to start talking about. So we're going to start with Luke Evangelista. First NHL game. First of all, congratulations to Luke Evangelista. Had a chance to watch him in development camp, had a chance to watch him up close. I think he's going to be a fantastic addition to this Nashville Predators team, and I think that his time has possibly come already. His arrival comes tonight when he became the most popular new Nashville Predator by laying out Evgeny Malkin with a big hit and then drawing a power play for the Preds by getting the retaliation slash and getting chirped by the entire Penguins bench. If Sidney Crosby is chirping you in your first NHL game, you're doing something right. For Evangelista, he did a lot of things right. It wasn't just the big hit. Of course, that's what's going to stand out. That's what's going to be remembered. That's what's going to get passed around on the internet for the next 24 hours nonstop. And you should definitely see it, appreciate it, and then watch it a couple of more times. But Evangelista also generated 2 shots on goal outside of that one hit. He skated 14:28 in time on ice. And I'm telling you, he looked good out there. Looked just like when Parsonen came up. Carl Taylor has these players prepared to come up to the NHL and play. That's why I think Carl Taylor needs to get significant consideration to be the next coach of this Nashville Predators team. He would be coaching essentially the same players he's been coaching in Milwaukee to such great success as of late. Luke Evangelista is the most recent example of that. He's here, he's prepared, and it looks like he's probably going to get a chance to stick with the new limited roster, and who knows how many other pieces may be moved here in the coming days. Also, in the same situation, Cal Foote making his debut for the Nashville Predators. 12:14 in time on ice. He blocked 2 shots. He had a hit. Yes, he took a penalty that didn't get the benefit of the doubt on, but I wanted to make note because he just got traded for. He's already in the lineup. He's out there taking minutes, and he looked fairly comfortable. I hope to see really good things out of him. He's a first-round draft pick. He's got limited NHL experience, but he'll now have an opportunity the rest of this season for the Nashville Predators to get some more experience. They'll get a chance to evaluate him, and then a full training camp next season, find out where he fits in with the organization. Nobody can know that at this moment, but he'll get an opportunity to show off, and he had an opportunity tonight at Bridgestone Arena to make his Preds debut. Again, that had to feel pretty damn good. It was great. And this, just want to give you this list: Glass, Novak, Sherwood, Tomasino, Evangelista, Carrier, Foote, all getting experience, all working hard, all bringing enthusiasm. And you know what that led to? It led to fun. The crowd was more into it than they have been probably all season long. And they know that this team is not making a push for the playoffs, and yet they were as excited as they had been at any point in time this season because of that list of names that I just read off. They are so excited about the future. Everybody is getting excited about the future. David Poile retiring and Barry Trotz taking over in a seamless transition. Now Carl Taylor should be the next head coach of this Nashville Predators team after this season. That would also be another seamless transition that can help speed up the process and keep this youth movement moving in a positive direction. Incredible to see how many of those players were on the ice tonight, how effective they were, and how they challenged the Pittsburgh Penguins for 58 minutes of this game. The Matthias Ekholm trade, of course, we have to talk about that, but I wanted to talk about it in this particular way. We heard David Poile on the broadcast tonight talk about Barry coming in and being a solid power play, offensive threat defenseman, but you've got to wonder, is he just selling the next product? Is Barry actually a part of this Nashville Predators team moving forward? Because I bring that up because he has 41 points on the season right now. He is a capable power play quarterback, and he has been playing with some significant offensive talent in McDavid and Draisaitl in Edmonton. So is Barry here just for the moment to be flipped? Will he even suit up for the Nashville Predators? A 41-point defenseman could easily come in for another team with one more year left on his contract and be a very good asset moving forward. Who knows what the Nashville Predators could get in return if they were able to get such significance for Matthias Ekholm earlier today. Could be a very, very smart, quick flip of Barry. But we'll have to see what that means going forward. Trade bait, it's what I suspect, but of course, we'll have to keep seeing how the Predators continue managing this. Sean C. Smith was at Bridgestone Arena tonight. He's got a report on the atmosphere, the youth movement, and everything that he saw with his own eyes right there at Bridgestone Arena. You can check out his work at A to Z Sports, and you can find him on Twitter at SCSNSH. You can watch him right now on Renegades of Puck TV. He's the one and only Sean C. Smith.
Thanks, Charlie. Hey, Renegades, it's Sean Smith, and back home after a night at Bridgestone Arena watching the Nashville Predators take on the Pittsburgh Penguins. And I'll say this, pretty eventful few days. And I think, at least for me, one of the hardest things that's happened is seeing Mattias Ekholm traded away. Now, I'm going to be honest, I'm perfectly understanding and get why this trade happened. They saw an opportunity. There was a good offer for him, and they took it. Talked to David Poile between periods, and that's what he echoed. They made an offer he couldn't refuse, and as a result, the trade happens. I get it, but it's hard to see someone like Mattias Ekholm leave the team, especially after being a fixture for so long, playing such a major role, not just on the ice, but off the ice, leadership-wise. The core program he worked with was really one of my favorites that I think I've seen out there in the Nashville Predators sphere. Absolutely love what he was doing with that. Loved when his wife, Ida, had the show with Julie Turris. Just phenomenal contributions to the Nashville community. Going to miss Mattias Ekholm a lot. So just wanted to get that out there. That being said, totally different landscape for the team roster. A lot of changes, a lot of guys gone. Jeannot gone, Niederreiter gone, Ekholm gone. I saw the first appearance of Cal Foote, who came back in the Jeannot trade, and also the debut of Luke Evangelista. And that's what I want to talk about tonight. Playing against the Penguins, who are in a playoff race right now, trying to get into the playoffs, and coming up against a Predators team that's in transition, using a lot of call-ups from Milwaukee, young guys, rookies, new guys, and a lot of guys injured, a lot of guys out. So you're seeing a team that has completely changed over the past week or two, and not a lot of lead time for some of these guys to get up to speed. Although I will say that the Admirals use a very similar, setup down there, or up there, down there, whatever. So when they make the transition to the NHL and play with the Predators, there's not a lot of change they have to make aside from location, or maybe line mates. But you even saw a lot of Admirals playing together on the Predators tonight, and they put up a pretty strong fight. I want to say this. I spent a lot of time focused on Luke Evangelista and Cal Foote. Here's what I'll say about Cal Foote. Okay, first, he's a big boy. He's a strong boy, too. And when you get him in front of the net, wrestling away the other guys who are vying for a position, trying to get a chip in or a tip in or a redirect, he's hard to move, and he will put you down. And that's one of the things I noticed was going into the corners with him didn't seem like a fun thing at all, because you usually wound up face down on the ground with your nose rubbed in the ice. Now, that's something to be afraid of. And I will say, too, I like the way he's good at denying zone entry, standing guys up at the blue line, although it did look like he had some first-night jitters. But what I really want to talk about is Luke Evangelista, because let's talk about some guys that have come in and had big debuts. And not necessarily that all these things happen in their first game, but let's talk about an early game for Yakov Trenin coming in, breaking Zdeno Chara's jaw. That was pretty cool. Early game for Tanner Jeannot coming in and cartwheeling dudes. Luke Evangelista, who's not touted as a big, strong guy, comes in and puts Evgeny Malkin on the ice. Just absolutely lit him up, drew a penalty, and I'm going to tell you what, pretty impressive stuff, because he didn't just look good defensively. He didn't look good when he was being willing to put his body on the line, but he also looked good, had some really good chances offensively. John Hines even said after the game that on a different night, some of those bounce a different way, and he scores a couple of goals. The future is bright with this kid, and that's my theme. I'm going to say this. People have been clamoring for change. They've been saying we want something different. We're tired of the same thing. This is something different. It's going to look a little bit weird for a while, but you're going to start enjoying watching some of these players play. Tommy Novak has been incredible. He looked good tonight, too. He's so creative with the puck. He has great vision, and he's fast, and he gets places. He's got a lot of time behind the net where he's thinking about what to do, bouncing pucks off of goalies' backs into the net. Smart player, fun to watch. Luke Evangelista, Philip Tomasino, Cody Glass, all these guys. look, you're tired of being booted in the first round? Okay, you may not make it to the playoffs for a couple of seasons, but you're going to see some pretty good hockey. And you're going to watch these guys who have been in Milwaukee coming up into their own in Nashville and becoming high-quality players that you're looking forward to watching every night, and they're exciting to see play. That's what you want to see. Yeah, the Predators lost tonight. Big deal. It was 3-1. It was tied. It was a close game for a long time. They both played great, right? Penguins end up getting a bounce, goes in, and they score an empty net goal. Big deal. Fact of the matter is, you asked for change, you got change, enjoy the change. Don't get mad about it. This is good hockey. You're going to see good stuff from these young players. And again, you were tired of what you were seeing. This is something different. It may not be exactly what you're used to, but just because it's different doesn't mean it's bad. Charlie, Renegades, look, that's what I got for you tonight. I'm saying is that there is hope. You want to change. You're seeing a lot of players leave. And while it's scary, while it's not fun, while it's sad, while it's heartbreaking to hear Roman Josi talk about his friend, his teammate, someone that he's been in an organization with for a very long time, being traded and moving on to another city. It still means you're going to get to see some good hockey. It still means that you're going to see something different. And if that's what you've been asking for, that's what you're getting. And I tell you what, buckle up and enjoy the ride. It's going to be fun. You get to see these young kids play that you've been hearing about for so long, and that's exactly what you should want. They're going to get good together. You're not going to see these guys coming up and maybe getting 8 minutes on the fourth line each night. You're going to see them playing meaningful minutes, and it's going to be fun. I promise. Renegades, that's all I got. Charlie, I'm going to send it back over to you.
The digital environment can be quite intimidating, time-consuming, and cumbersome, especially with all those other areas that need attention at your business, and that's why Stripe Digital Solutions is here to help. I know because that's exactly what Stripe Digital Solutions did for me and the Renegades of Puck. From designing my home website and helping me create my merchandise to special event posters, brand building, and social media management. But it's not just that, it's so much more. Stripe Digital Solutions has helped me every step of the way. From startup to full-time operation, Stripe Digital Solutions has been there to assist and advise every single step of the journey. In today's fast-paced world, the path to success is having a strong digital partner, and nobody is better in the trenches than Brandy and Stripe Digital Solutions. Get the solution before it's even a problem with Stripe Digital Solutions. When it comes to the box score, the Preds scored 1 goal tonight. It was unassisted, so there's not a whole lot to talk about, but there is things to talk about. So, Jankowski, first of all, incredible effort on that goal. It is an unassisted goal. Intercepts the clearing pass, makes a dangle and a deke in the slot, and then puts the puck behind Jari, who was having an incredible game. Jari gets the victory in this game, and he looked incredible in this game. And Jankowski was able to outduel him in this particular situation. So since it's unassisted, no assists, so only 1 point offensively, and all of that comes from Jankowski. When it comes to shots on goal, Matt Duchene, 5 shots on goal in this game. That led the team, and I wanted to just mention Matt Duchene for a moment right here with the 5 shots on goal. 21-23 in total time on ice as well. Led the Nashville Predators, forwards that is. He has had a new crispness. His game has been elevated these last several games. It's obvious, it's noticeable. The road trip through San Jose and through Arizona, he was easily one of the Nashville Predators' best players out there on the ice. Yes, it's natural to think stepping up in the absence of his line mate, Philip Forsberg, and others out of the lineup as of late. But Matt Duchene has been around this league a long time, and he knows exactly what time of year it is, and it's no secret what the Nashville Predators are doing. Matt Duchene's newfound crispness could be the product and the result of being a very intelligent veteran and trying to find himself in not a rebuild mode, but in a parade mode later on this summer. So for Matt Duchene, stepping up his game is certainly making him more attractive to general managers around the league, regardless of what the contract may be. We are seeing teams right now that are saying, if he will help me win, I am going for it. Matt Duchene stepping up his game as of late. There might be more to it than just trying to step up in the absence of Philip Forsberg and some others. Now, also in the box score when it comes to block shots, Zach Sanford getting the opportunity to get up here and get in this game. 4 block shots in this game leads the Nashville Predators. When it comes to hits, Cole Smith, very physical in this game. 6 hits in this game. Dante Fabro, also 6 hits in this game. Dante Fabro, I thought, had a bit of a step up in his game in this particular situation against the Pittsburgh Penguins as well. Time on ice, I mentioned Duchesne led the forwards in time on ice, 21-23 in total, and it was the captain, Roman Josi, who is going to pile up a lot of minutes with some inexperienced defense out there with him. 28-10 in total time on ice. He was, after all, keeping an eye on Cal Foote making his Nashville Predators debut. It's a mighty difficult task to make your debut on defense against the Pittsburgh Penguins. UC Saros 31 out of 33 in this game. He does end up taking the loss. Brian Baston's out right now. He is officially day-to-day, and that's for real. He'll be back probably on the next episode. Brian, I hope you're getting feeling better. He's been a little bit under the weather the last couple of games. He's got so many thoughts and so many things he'd love to be getting out right now. But the Renegade Analytics Desk will be back to that very, very soon when Brian gets back up and healthy, and we'll get him back on the show as soon as possible. As well as we got a lot of the Renegades analysts that want to get in the trenches and share their opinions on everything that's been going on. Everybody's got something to say about the situation going on with the Nashville Predators right now. And I'll have more coming up on that here as we close out the show. That's got you all set up with the box score. So let's come back after this break. Let's close things up and let's get you all set up for the next couple of days. I'm Crazy Charlie Saunier, captain of the Renegades of Puck. I'm also tired of the cold, tired of the dark, and tired of being landlocked. I'm also willing to bet that I'm not the only one who could use some sun, fun, and time in paradise with friends. That's exactly why I called our great friend Pete Weber. He told me, call Ships and Trips Travel, and now we're all going to Mexico. That's right, Renegades of Puck, July 15th to the 20th of 2023. Dreams Vallarta Resort in Puerto Vallarta is the destination to hang with Pete Weber in paradise. To join Pete and the Renegades of Puck in Puerto Vallarta, go to www.shipsandtripstravel.com. That's shipsandtripstravel.com, and just click on the ROP on vacation tab. Don't stay landlocked. Join the Renegades of Puck in paradise, July 15th to the 20th, 2023 in Puerto Vallarta. Pete Weber, the Renegades of Puck, and you. It's time to ditch those skates for flip-flops and fun in the sun. So that felt different tonight at Bridgestone Arena now, didn't it? I could hear the rumble of a Let's Go Predators chant more than one time during the game. I could hear the fans getting more and more into it. Big hits, small plays, little nuanced things as the game went along. A goaltenders duel broke out for 40-plus minutes in this game, and that was plenty exciting. But there was something different, wasn't there? It was certainly more exciting seeing Evangelista put Malkin on his ass. Is that the beginning of the changing of the guard to a new generation? The Nashville Predators getting a jump on that next generation, getting these players into the lineup, making the deals they need to make. It was long overdue, but now that the Nashville Predators seem to have committed to making the changes, in the first couple of days of making these changes so far, they are making the moves that are highly intelligent, impactful, and will help this franchise moving forward. David Poile clearly had this plan in place going into this trade deadline. Resigning, retiring, naming Barry Trotz his successor, it was all done within a matter of 30 minutes during Sunday afternoon. The press conference was held on Monday. The two of them are seen together sitting in the press box now at the first home game on Tuesday, and the Nashville Predators have basically been the top of the headlines of the NHL world for 4 straight days now because of the deals and the changes that they are making. These changes typically take a long time to happen, and yes, I know, it's taken a long time to get to this point, but now the Predators have gotten to this point, making that transition, beginning to dismantle the core group and making the moves and getting the assets that the Predators are getting back. They are allowing themselves, through the number of draft picks they're getting, to speed up the process. They do not necessarily have to use all of these draft picks, all of these prospects, to build with those draft picks. They can pair these draft picks to trade for other prospects that have already been in the minors or are already young in their NHL career. It is very interesting to see how this is all being put together and just how many assets the Nashville Predators are acquiring. Now, I expect there is more to come. It's hard to watch and not think, what is the next move for the Nashville Predators? After all, they have been dominant on the headlines the last couple of days, and that's not easy to do on a day when Patrick Kane gets traded from Chicago to the New York Rangers. So, is Barry here to be a part of this Nashville Predators team, or is he potentially going to be flipped? Seeing what defensemen are worth to contending teams and a 41-point defenseman who can help run your power play, well, that seems like Barry might be really interesting. Also, Ryan McDonagh, as much as I enjoy watching him play here and as much as I enjoy covering him, he's a professional defenseman that could add to any team looking to compete. Maybe even his old team, the New York Rangers, might be looking to add him and bolster. Rangers have had plenty of scouts. Yes, it was rumored that they were looking in on Tanner Jeannot, but then Tanner Jeannot became more expensive than Patrick Kane. Are they looking, though, at Ryan McDonagh? And what could Ryan McDonagh bring back? His experience, his professionalism, and listen, here with the Nashville Predators this year, it's not like he's been sitting on the sidelines. He's been playing top pair defensive minutes almost all season long, and he's been doing it quite successfully. Just tonight, 2018 and time on ice skated. Valuable asset in Dante Fabro. Young, but not quite developing to the level that Nashville Predators fans, or I think scouts and coaches, had hoped for. Dante Fabro could be a very attractive young defenseman to another team looking to build. Matt Duchene, could he be getting moved as well? It wouldn't be the first time at this time of year that Matt Duchene had to fill out a change of address form. So for Matt Duchene, he could be the next piece to fall. But the biggest piece of all and the biggest question mark of all, and I believe the only way that UC Saros gets moved is if a team is willing to pay significantly. UC Saros is coming into the prime of his career, and he has already been a Vezina finalist. He could be a Vezina finalist again this year, considering the numbers he's putting up on a Nashville Predators team that is not that good. UC Saros is truly the biggest question mark of all. Askarov is still a year or two away at least, but UC Saros could bring back such a significant return that by the time Askarov is ready to come to the NHL full-time as the Nashville Predators starting goaltender, the Nashville Predators could have a significant amount of talent in front of him that was brought by his predecessor and several other Predators that are currently being traded away. I don't think the Nashville Predators are done, and I think you should expect more to come. I'm not sure exactly who, I'm not sure exactly when, but at the speed and the pace this is moving, I would continue hitting refresh as often as possible. That's going to do it for this episode of the Renegades of Puck podcast, operation number 722. We sure do appreciate each and every one of you jumping in the trenches with us. Remember, you can always follow us on social media and definitely keep up with us on a hourly or moment-to-moment basis with how fast things are changing. There's nobody better equipped to handle the breaking news and the information and to get reaction on the air, analysis, opinions, and all of that. Right here from the bunker, I am your host and captain, Crazy Charlie Saunier. Stick taps, love, and respect.